So our next award today is the Lorin Kerr Award, and our awardee is Deborah Weinstock. This award recognizes a younger activist for their sustained and outstanding efforts and dedication to improve the lives of workers. And to present the award today, we have a video from Craig Slayton, and then I believe a video from Deborah follows that.
This year's recipient of the section's Lorin Kerr Award, which recognizes a younger activist for her outstanding efforts to improve workers' lives. Deborah deserves to receive this award in recognition of her 27 years of work to protect the health and safety of working people in the workplace and in their communities. In 1993, after several years addressing the health and safety training needs of workers in the U.S. Department of Energy Systems, Deborah joined the National Clearinghouse for HAZWOPER Worker Health and Safety Training, a project supporting the worker training program of the National Institutes for Environmental Health Sciences, NIEHS, which is when I met Deborah. She started at the clearinghouse as an associate and then became its director. She oversaw operations that provided support to the network of around 20 national awardee organizations, mostly consortia that brought together more than 100 organizations providing health and safety training. These range from union health and safety programs and departments to college and university programs and COSH and environmental justice organizations. Deborah skillfully took on the work of learning about all these programs and providing them with the necessary support to best meet the needs of the workers they serve. In 1998, Deborah went to work in the AFL-CIO Safety and Health Department. She maintained her connections to the NIEHS program and expanded her efforts to address all workers' health and safety needs. During that time, she was appointed to the Labor Research Advisory Council of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Deborah became firmly grounded in the labor movement and in so doing became a key member of the National Health and Safety Networks. In 2005, Deborah was recruited back to the National Clearinghouse and has been its director since then. As the Clearinghouse Director, Deborah has applied her broad understanding of health and safety concerns to provide resources addressing technical concerns, pedagogy and literacy, environmental protection, the climate crisis, environmental justice, occupational health inequities, and the research to demonstrate the best practices in worker health and safety training. She has provided critical resources during regional and national emergencies. For example, helping the network of union, COSH, academic, state and local government, and volunteer organizations to provide health and safety training in the aftermath of Superstorm Sandy. Deborah's understanding of workers' needs and her operational management skills increased these organizations' success in making disaster response and recovery much safer than it might have been. And while doing all of that, Deborah has been a stalwart member and leader of the APHA Occupational Health Section, having served as our representative to the Governing Council, our section secretary, and she did a 7-year stint as treasurer, making sure that there was funding for our social hours, scholarship fund, and other critical section functions, as and always with a good sense of humor and deep humility. Preparing this, I am reminded of the many projects I've loved doing with Deborah over the past 25 years. It is such a pleasure and honor to introduce her for the Lorin Kerr Award.
Thank you, Craig. This award, I've been so fortunate throughout my career to have worked for and with so many amazing people. It would be impossible for me to name them all. There are a number of people who have encouraged me along the way, and I want to recognize them here. Ruth Ruttenberg, who really helped orient me to worker health and safety, the importance of interacting with rank and file workers, and how to do training evaluation. Ruth also encouraged me to join APHA and get involved with the OHS section, including running for section counselor when I first joined. She truly encouraged my professional growth and development. Mary Miller, who was so welcoming to me as a new member and has continued to be a friend. It's particularly meaningful for me to be getting this award alongside Chip Hughes, who has been such a big influence on me in my career as both a mentor and friend. You just heard from him, and if you haven't had the opportunity of working with Chip, you at least saw his passion for making the world a better place for all of us. Peg Seminario, who gave me the opportunity to engage with union safety and health professionals and activists nationwide, and who also taught me that in order to sustain the energy for this work, it's important to interact with rank and file workers and hear their struggles and successes firsthand. Working at the AFL-CIO, I learned about our wonderful regulatory process and what it takes to get a safety and health standard in place, only to see it taken away by Congress. Yes, I'm talking about the ergonomic standard that is still so sorely, unintended, needed. And I believe that the revoking of that standard through the Congressional Review Act is a huge reason why so many workers today are struggling with opioid use disorder and other substance use disorders. But I digress. Working at the AFL-CIO for PEG also afforded me the opportunity to become a union activist and leader representing AFL-CIO staff who were members of the Newspaper Guild, now CWA. That was its own special learning experience, but one I truly enjoyed. Don Ellisberg, who Chip also mentioned, has been such a wonderful mentor to me over the years and connected me back to the worker training program after my tenure at the AFL-CIO. My husband, Alex, who way before he was my husband, encouraged me to take the job with Ruth, has always believed in my professional abilities and has supported and encouraged me along the way. My parents, who gave me the confidence to do just about anything, and Michael Baker, my current employer and friend, who provides more encouragement and support than anybody could ask for. Over the 27 years I've been doing this work, 20 of them have been spent supporting the NIEHS Worker Training Program in one capacity or another. It's been an incredible journey from organizing workshops and meetings, bringing together labor, academics, and community leaders who are battling on the front lines to protect workers, working to ensure materials are appropriate for and reaching vulnerable populations, and recruiting new people to this movement. I've been privileged to work with such an innovative and forward-leaning federal program. You don't often hear those words strung together. It's a program that is dynamic and responsive to the critical issues workers face, all in the context of training, of course. When I left working for Ruth to go to the AFL-CIO, it was largely because at that point, I wanted a broader orientation to worker health and safety than just hazardous waste. And I did get that. But coming back to support the worker training program, it has really been an amazing array of issues I've been involved in. From disaster cleanup and recovery, disaster research, disaster worker mental health and resilience, climate change and work, and prevention of substance use disorders in workers, to name a few. But these are the things I know still need so much work. That the lessons learned regarding how to best protect workers in disaster after disaster rarely get learned and addressed by our policymakers. That's why it's nice to see that NDLM, the steelworkers, and other organizations are trying to get ahead of the curve to establish cadres of trainers, and caches of PPE that are in place and ready to be deployed as soon as the disaster strikes. That just-in-time training, a term people now throw around as acceptable, is really too little, too late. It may be better than nothing, but it is entirely insufficient to protect workers or volunteers doing cleanup work. And that workers and communities need to be better prepared for the disasters that will continue to cause devastation. These are some of the issues I'll continue to work on as I continue this amazing journey. Upon hearing about receiving this award, a colleague of mine wrote to congratulate me. She said, "So much of the work you do provides the underpinnings for what others do, and that sort of thing is too frequently under-recognized." So I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about others in our field who work behind the scenes but are so important to allowing us to continue doing our work. The work we do is so important, but we can't do it if we can't show how important it is to those who fund the work. Documenting program impacts and outcomes is critical. Evaluators play such an essential role in helping us document and demonstrate the actions workers have been able to take as a result of training. And they can also help document the barriers that workers often face in taking such actions. They can help characterize the context in which these programs are taking place, whether the training is happening in the midst of a pandemic or if it is happening with the full support of management. Empowering workers to take action to remove or control hazards in their workplaces is what many of us do. Giving workers the tools to identify hazards and to engage in collective action to remove or control hazards they face at work is especially critical now. Evaluators can help us show that the training being provided is in fact making a difference in that way. Thank you again. Receiving this award from a group of people I so admire and respect is really an honor. Thank you.
Yeah.
Audio congratulations to Deborah.
Hey. Deborah, woo woo.
Thank you all.
Congratulations, Deborah.